Welcome to the show. It's been a while. The last time I think we did this, man, it has been Joel Hoekstra's 13 had just come out. That's how long it's been.
Oh, all right, right on.
Well, welcome. I'll tell you, I don't have a lot of voice left, Joel. I've been covering the Super Bowl in Las Vegas all week. I'm from Kansas City, diehard Chiefs fan. It's been kind of a week here, let's just say.
All right, well, congratulations.
Who do you have a favorite team that you cheer for?
I grew up in the Chicago area, so it's still the Bears,
I
which
you
are
know,
fairly irrelevant.
that's not, you know what? 1985. I just interviewed Jim McMahon actually this week at one of it. He had a celebrity golf tournament there in Vegas. So good to catch up with him. Iconic. And I mean, the Bears will get back there they will, it'll happen in our lifetimes.
Yeah, I got to meet some of the defensive players at a corporate event that I did. So I got to meet Dan Hampton and Steve
Yeah.
McMichael and Otis Wilson. So that was fun, and got to kind of hang in the same dressing area and just talk to them for a while casually, which was fun. Just
That's,
yeah, I mean, it was still one of the most if not the best defense ever, certainly way up there, and most entertaining defense for sure. They were so fun to watch.
yeah. So much so that Mongo McMichael went on to be a WCW pro wrestler with the Four Horsemen. I mean, and he's struggling right now and thinking about him. He's, I think, up for the Hall of Fame now, and hopefully that happens. He's well deserving. And Joel, it's an exciting time. I mean, I'm glad to be getting back and talking some music. I hate to say this, I'm a little sportsed out over the last week. It's been crazy. So to talk some music and one of my favorite bands, Revolution Saints, new album Against the Winds. It's out now. Just when I think that Revolution Saints can't possibly top what they've done before, you guys are able to do it. I'm ahead of you. I got the graphic ready.
All right, right
You got
on.
the CD in hand. That's awesome. What another great effort. This is a great album. I don't know what to say. It's awesome. And congratulations. It's really good.
Thank you so much. Well, I mean, I think it's something that maybe 2-3 years ago now, Frontiers reached out to me and gauging interest. I think that Jack Blades and Doug Aldrich just were kind of feeling like they'd run their course with it. And Doug is busy with the Dead Daisies and Jack is busy with Night Ranger. And I think Dean and the label wanted to keep it going. So we formed a Mach 2, if you will, of Revolution Saints with Jeff Pilson and myself stepping into those respective roles. So, I mean, once I found out everything was cool with Doug and that Doug had actually kind of said, get Joel to keep it going, then the only decision was, I mean, do I want to play guitar with Dean Castronova and Jeff Pilson? And I think for most guitar players, that answer is a yes. So, yeah.
Dean, I've had him on. We've talked about many things here on the show with Dean Castronova, who I have just the utmost respect for. Of course, you guys released Eagle Flight last year, and that's when we talked to him last. And, his vocals, just talk about like what that was like and what your respect level is when you hear him sing. Obviously, he's a drummer. He's the drummer in Journey, but to be able to carry this over. And I remember hearing, the Revolution Saints album, the one that before you came in with Jack Blades, still in the band of Doug Aldrich, that his vocals just blow me away. And talk about what it's like working with him kind of as a vocalist.
Yeah, I mean, he's incredible. He definitely belongs in the discussion of best rock singers out there today. And he gets left out an awful lot because of being a great drummer, like you said. So people think of him as a drummer when they talk about the great drummers. He's in that discussion. But he gets left out and forgotten a lot of times as far as the singing goes. But he's up there with anybody. He's really incredible. It's impressive when you record these albums. Each time they've essentially been done with demo vocals on there when I've recorded my guitar track. So it's cool to get them back when you hear Dean's vocals on there and everything's mixed, how much he's elevated everything just by singing it. It's very, very impressive how much he takes a song and takes it from here to here with his vocal abilities.
We'll just talk about the process of making this album. Obviously, you talk about all three of you have busy schedules. Jeff Pilson's been out with Foreigner doing just a massive kind of farewell tour. And he's also been injured. He's had this back injury and kind of even struggled on stage. He's had to be kind of seated. Just talk about how you were able to kind of do this, because you just released an album a year ago. And obviously to be in a position to do another one back to back, it means there was a lot of interest. a lot of good feedback from the fans and from Frontiers to be able to kind of churn another one out in this short order of time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Revolution Saints is definitely something that Frontiers is heavily invested in. It's kind of their baby in that, they usually have Alessandro Del Vecchio co-write
Hmm.
people to co-write these records. And it's an interesting experiment just in that, on Joel Hoekstra's 13, I go from writing every single bit of it, the riffs, the lyrics, and the melodies, everything, to this simply being something where my job is to lift the level of it just by the performance. Now, that might change on the next record. I think that Jeff and I are going to do some writing for the next record, for Revolution Saints. But for the time being, that's been the I guess system that Frontiers has worked in, and it's a great experiment. I mean, I enjoy making music in all capacities and kind of experimenting to see how things come out. So, Alessandro's a very talented guy and a great writer, and he lays everything out for us in demo form, and then we just kind of isolate our parts, and then we go, okay, well, here's how I would play it, or try and lift that, try and make it a bit better. And certainly solos and stuff, I just pretty much do my own thing. Maybe quote a melody line from the song here or there. Try to mix up, melody and having a bit of flair and fire to it as well. So it's not just, I guess, basic. People kind of expect that in the genre from the guitarists, and so yeah, I think, Jeff, it's the same way. Jeff does a lot of writing typically on projects, so it's different for both of us, but it's also really cool. I mean, people sometimes are, I guess, have a negative feeling about this approach, but you'd have to discount an awful lot of great music that you've been listening to throughout your life if you eliminated external writers. And I always give the Motown example in these interviews and go, I mean, think about that era. All those Motown songs weren't written by the artists themselves, and so, well, a lot of them were not. And so we've definitely grown up listening to records made in that fashion. So it's, something that Frontiers is heavily invested in, and that pays off. And when you're a part of it, because they get behind it heavily and make sure that the album sees a lot of promotion, etc. So, and in general, my decision is like, hey, I get to make music with Dean Castronovo and Jeff Pilson. Like, that's, why wouldn't I do that?
Well, there's something about this music, and this goes back to early Revolution Saints, that really hits with me. I love melodic hooks. I love great guitar work. It's simple, but it's effective. That AOR, album oriented rock, whatever you want to call it, the melodic nature of this is just, it's like just, what works for me. And I always say that this music, and I know we're in the winter, we're in February, but it's like summertime music. Your guitar work on this, there's a few chords, and let's see, I think it's from the song Change My Mind. That when you first hear that first guitar, it's like summertime. It's like, it reminds me of driving around at summertime, like longing for a girl that you don't know where you stand with her or something like that. Does that make sense at all, that this music kind of has a summertime vibe to it?
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy that analogy. I, I just go after trying to play for the song, like,
Mm,
with all of it, and then, like I said, try to balance that with a bit of guitar flair. So the solos and the parts are not necessarily, your statement is not necessarily to prove how technically capable you are. It's about
right.
trying to play for the song, serve the song, whatever you can do to kind of lift that, and make a lot of melodic statements. I grew up listening to that style of player a lot, so it's not a stretch for me in the least. It's right up my alley, honestly. I've worked a lot on my technique and stuff over the years, and can dabble as a exclusive kind of shredder type. It's a lot more fun for me to just play for songs and play melody infused with some of that stuff.
How difficult is it, because as Revolution Saints continues to gain ground and popularity, and you're churning out just amazing music, and a lot of Frontiers projects are studio projects, it's what they are. But with the busy schedules you guys have, I know I've talked to Dean, I've talked to Jeff. Everybody would love to do some Revolution Saints, some live shows. How difficult is it? And would you want to do that sometime, and could it happen?
I would love to. I think that would be amazing to get out on the road with these guys. Jeff currently has the farewell tour for Foreigner,
Yeah.
so that's probably the biggest hurdle at the moment. Dean's actually out, I think, with Journey as well right
Yeah.
now, but he's has a few more windows, I think. So we've all talked about it, and everybody's into it. It just is a matter, I think, of when everybody's kind of freed up from some of their touring commitments for that to happen. But I wouldn't discount it. I think we're all looking to do it. It's not, it's not a no go for anybody. Everybody's kind of like, yeah, I'm in. I just need the time to do it.
And it would be tremendous. It's hard. It's just really would be a magical experience to hear a lot of these songs performed live, because it's, as someone that loves live music like me and enjoys these albums as much as I have, to bring that together would be just tremendous, especially given the players that you guys are. I think it would go over well. So here's hoping for that here in the next couple of years, Joel. We're crossing our fingers here.
Yeah, well, me too. I mean, I feel like you do. So I would love to have it happen for sure.
Yeah, we're hoping so. And and you'd already talked about it, this is the Revolution Saints way. You've already kind of alluded to, well, on the next record. So you've already obviously started maybe some collaboration on that, if you will.
Definitely put in some song ideas to Alessandro, and I think it will be probably Jeff and I kind of sending in ideas and co-writing with Alessandro on it,
Sweet.
more or less. But I think, yeah, I mean, that's the plan, at least for now. We'll see how it all comes to fruition, but um, that's definitely the plan, to have
Well,
Jeff and I do more writing on the third one.
amazing. You talked about sort of the promotion and how Frontiers has just sort of cornered the market on this style of music, if you will, and it's able to get it out to the masses, and it's able to make these albums popular and relevant. And a big part of that is the videos. You guys have done what, 3 videos for this: Against the Winds, Fall on My Knees, and Changing My Mind. Talk about the importance of the videos, for one, because they all do so well, so many views on YouTube, and get people interested in these albums, and then just kind of the process of making the videos.
Yeah, I think that the videos are definitely an important element when it comes to promoting an album. I've experienced the opposite side of that with Joel Hoekstra's 13 at times. We're unable to make videos to support it. So it's cool to have that outlet. It's just something where we usually all just meet in LA and shoot them over the course of a day or two. I think the Eagle flight, we actually were super ambitious and there were 5 videos. So that might have been 3 days or 4 days. We worked longer
Wow.
on that, having those come out. In terms of the video, the album work, the work was equal. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for us to connect and hang and talk about things like the possibility of playing live and just kind of focus on the music itself for a little bit. And yeah, to touch on what you said about Frontiers, um, they're they take a lot of flack, but I like to point out to people, where would the scene be without them, with what they've been doing over the last 10. I've been working with them since 2011. I think was the first record I was on with Frontiers with Night Ranger. So I've been working with them for 12, 13 years, and I think that they've done a lot for the scene in terms of getting music out there and making it available. Some people get frustrated that some of the recording projects don't become live, but I also think that as you see the 80s bands get older and experience a lot of lineup changes or health issues and go into retirement, that you're going to see a lot of these projects kind of step up, because a lot of people like myself, I was too young in the 80s. I was in high school. So my time came after that with Night Ranger and Whitesnake, etc. And so getting out and playing live, the fans actually start to embrace people like myself who come in, and then you've been around long enough that they feel like they know you and they want to see you. So I think that you're going to see the level of some of these projects, the level of importance for them increase as you see some of the older bands retire. And just my theory on it, that I think you get higher festival billing and things like that, and it makes it more feasible to actually get out and do it.
Well, and for me, it's become almost kind of a subconscious thing because I try to listen to new music when I can. I try to seek it out, but it's not always easy. Frontiers and the projects on Frontiers and the bands that I know that I can count on from Frontiers, it's become like a source of comfort. It's like comfort food for me. I know where to go. I know, and I'm in constant contact with, some of the PR people from there. They always send out the demo. They always send out the album. I get it. I can listen to it easily right there. Just listen to the entire Revolution Saints Against the Winds album. It's tremendous. So they're doing a great job in that regard. So you will never hear a bad word about Frontiers for me. It keeps me engaged in new music more than any other label or more than any other entity. So it's important. And
Yeah.
Jeff Pilson, he's got like 5 Frontiers projects right now. I don't know how he sleeps.
I mean, I get it. The fact that people look at the old way the music industry worked, where a band would make an album and then they would tour. But they also saw a lot of money and had a lot of money behind them for that. So we're in a new model of the way the music industry works for musicians. And pretty much everybody I know is a part of at least a few, 2 or 3 things. I don't know too many people that are just a part of like one band. A couple of my friends are, but if you're able to uh, be a founding member of a band and write music, and then that can just be your band, period. However, most of them at some point in time still say, I'm going to put out a solo album or a side project or something. So, um, fans like the thing where there's a band and that's the only place you see those people is in that band, and that's the band you can identify with. And I totally relate, because that was the way it worked when we were kids. However, I also think back then you used to say, wouldn't it be awesome and incredible to see this person from that band play if you put together your. And so, Frontiers makes that a reality. They combine a lot of people from different bands, and you get to hear them with other people. And sometimes the chemistry is there and sometimes it's not. I feel like in Revolution Saints it is. I think that our
Yes.
styles all mesh really well. We all understand what we're going for with this music in terms of the sound and the style, and we line up great, and we do have personal chemistry. I mean, we all toured together in 2011. When I was with Night Ranger, the tour was Night Ranger, Foreigner, Journey. So we spent a lot
That's
of time.
right.
That was a really long tour, and I ended up actually on that tour. Mick Jones fell ill for a little bit, and I filled in for Foreigner on very short notice. So Jeff and I had a bonding experience over that. I think I had basically 24 hours notice to get their set together and go on with them, and so that kind of blast furnace stressful experience really led to a cool bond with him. Like there was the moment of, you did it, holy crap, you saved the tour kind of vibe, to just really spending a lot of time on the road that year together. And those both guys have always been great to me ever since I met them. I think I met Dean before Jeff, because Night Ranger actually did some opening for Journey before that 2011 tour. I think it was probably about 2008 or 9 that we were on the road together. So Dean has always just been, he's a ridiculous talent, but he's also like incredibly humble. Like he would come into a Night Ranger sound check and be doing I'm not kind of thing. I was like, dude, come on, you're in the headliner. You're in Journey, man. What are you doing? But always very humble, very nice, always a musician first. I grew up listening to both of these guys. I was listening to Jeff play with Dokken when I was in high school, when I was a teenager. Now, Jeff was a kid too. I'm not trying to make him sound old. All these guys were like famous when they were in their young 20s, etc. So certainly Jeff with that, and then watching him with Foreigner over the years. And Dean, a lot of people don't realize, was a part of the guitar record scene, the Shrapnel scene, and played with Tony McAlpine and Marty Friedman, etc. So I grew up hearing them on those records. So both of these guys were larger than life to me at one point in time in my life. When I was in high school, looking at them like that was, the unattainable. So it's cool to be making music with them on multiple levels, not just because they're great musicians and great guys, but also because when I was younger, I looked up to them and thought, I'll never have the opportunity to play with people like that.
Joel, how important is it to you to kind of have these different avenues to flex your creative muscle? Because you do a lot of different things, you wear a lot of different hats, whether it be Cher, Trans Siberian Orchestra, Iconic, Joel Hoekstra's 13, Whitesnake. To be able to have these different avenues, you said, you don't know many people that are in just one band. So for you, do you feel creatively fulfilled with all these different projects? And I don't know, is there like a ranking system, or you're like, oh man, this is where I really get, the big crowds, out there with Cher, 20,000 people. This is great. White Snake. Everybody knows these songs. This is iconic music. But when you're maybe on a smaller scale, but get to do more and be more free, how do you compartmentalize it all basically?
Oh, just kind of prepare for each opportunity and do your best at it as it happens. And certain things stick and certain things don't in music. That's the way it works. I've kind of always operated on the system of hard work and just giving my all to everything as opportunities present themselves. And you'll end up where you're supposed to be if you just kind of do that and stay true to that. So that is definitely the case with me. I mean, I've got a lot of different things going on and extremely busy. The other upside to that a lot of fans don't necessarily recognize is that as musicians, we're always looking to get better and improve. And you do that by actually playing music and doing a lot of it. So every day is something on guitar for me. I mean, today I'm going to wrap up a session and I'm going to practice the songs that I have coming up for Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp and do cameos. And these are just things that every day you just kind of like, I have musical tasks and things that help me to improve. I'm writing the next Joel Hoekstra's 13 album, so I have to get those songs tracked, at least the scratch guitar tracks, and off to Vinny Appice to start the process of that record. So there's always something every day, and I'll be working on Accept tonight as well, because I'm going to be filling in for them, so working on their music. And that's all stuff that helps you become a better player at the end of the day. And that's something I'm very much interested in, like not just making a living. People sometimes just think, oh, well, he's just, off making a living playing with all these things. But a lot of it is just trying to be good at what you do.
Man, that accept thing's gonna be awesome. It's I would say that in accepts the last, oh, 12, 13 years of accept music, that is some of the best metal guitar work I have heard. And so tall task ahead, because that stuff, man, it hits. They are firing on all cylinders. That's going to be an amazing gig for you, Joel. I can't wait to see how that turns out. How did that come about, by the way?
Basically through Michael Cardelloni, from Leonard Skinnerd, and people would know him also from Damn Yankees, of course, back in the day. Michael was with Wolf Hoffman, and Wolf, I think, was saying, "I'm going to need somebody to fill in. Our guitarist can't do the South American tour and the European festival tour over the summer." And Michael said, "Well, I got your guy." He said, "Joel Hoekstra." And it all happened really, really quickly. So Wolf uh, and I were connected by Michael via text, and it was just kind of a Wolf meet Joel, Joel meet Wolf, and then next thing I knew, I said, "Well, were you out of Nashville?" I said, "Great, TSO's coming to Nashville." I was out with Trans Siberian Orchestra at the
Yeah.
time. He said, "We'll be in Nashville in a couple days, few days, something like that." And he said, "Well, let's have coffee." And we got together and we had coffee and we talked about it, and everything sounded great. I mean, it makes sense on both sides. They need a guitarist to fill in, and I really want to get back down to South America. I haven't been down there in 4 years now. Last time I was down there was with Whitesnake, and the European festival circuit was something that was like just frustrating not to be a part of last year at all in any capacity. So I was like, heck yes, I want to get up and play some of those huge shows and get out in front of 80,000 people or whatever at the Wackens and the Sweden Rocks, etc. And so all sounds good to me to get out and do the festival circuit and get back down to South America with them. And like you said, Wolf's a great guitarist. They got a great sounding live band there. They're a well-oiled machine. So it's going to be fun to step in with them and just kind of do what's right for them. People think I'm going to try and reinvent the wheel or something with it. I'm not at all. I'm just going to go in treat it like it's their world and I'm their guest, and like try and make them happy during it, make the fans happy. All that comes before me, and just play it down.
It's going to be tremendous. And before we get you out of here, Joel, and we want to remind everyone, the new album Revolution Saints Against the Winds, it is available now via Frontiers Music. It is tremendous. It's we're early. We're early into 2024. It just started. I'm not a prisoner of the moment typically, but this is my album of the year. I'm calling it done right now, Joel. I'm calling it. So
Well,
it's great
thank you
stuff.
so much. Yeah, it's been incredible to see the reviews online, and there's a lot of really really great reviews for it. So it's very exciting, and changing my mind is definitely getting some serious radio airplay in markets, and it's fun to see something from this world actually get some commercial success, and yeah, it's great. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and appreciate you helping us out.
All right, Joel, take it easy. Have a great spring and summer out with Accept. Always busy, always putting out great music, and we always appreciate you, Joel. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Right back at you, brother. Thank you so
You
much for your
bet.
time. I
Thank
love your
you.
blood, I love your blood sport shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. That just came in the other day. I love it. Yeah, it's perfect.
Cinema
35-year anniversary.
cinema at its finest, my
I
friend.
got
Yeah.
the poster back there too. I mean, I don't know. I'm an 80s guy. What do you say? Thank you, man.
Right on, dude. Have a good one. Thank you so